And some of these HyperGrace writers make fun of Leonard Ravenhill, who wrote in his great books, God is bringing judgment upon America. They say, no more judging business for God, post-cross. Rubbish! What about Acts 12? What about Acts 12? Post-cross. Herod struck down by the angel of the Lord. And then they say, God should not discipline, church also should not discipline. HyperGrace preachers say we must not confront people in their sins and make them sin conscious. But Paul in his letter to the Corinthians writes about the expulsion of the sinful brother who was sleeping with his father's wife. He was sleeping. He did much more, but I don't want to enact it. Okay? So, you read 1 Corinthians chapter 5. So, if Paul was a HyperGrace teacher, Paul would have gone to a pillow store. Pillow store. And put one pillow. He's sleeping on a pillow. To sleep with his mother, he's using a pillow, no? He would have put another pillow. What is that pillow? HyperGrace theology. Even when you're sleeping with your mother, you're the righteousness of God. You're the holiness of God. Blah, 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 blah. You would have put a pillow. This is not original. This is David Wilkerson, a great Assemblies of God pastor who went to the ghettos of New York to preach the gospel. He said, we have pillow prophets in our time. Pillow prophets. Even when you're sleeping with your mother, you're the righteousness of God. You're the holiness of God. Blah, 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 blah. You would have put a pillow. This is not original. This is David Wilkerson, a great Assemblies of God pastor who went to the ghettos of New York to preach the gospel. He said, we have pillow prophets in our time. Pillow prophets. People living in sin, say, I have sinned against the Lord. Like my good friend Chadwick said, I wouldn't be standing here, but for the grace of God. I would have died and buried. I've said some nasty things to my daddy and mommy. I have not been a good husband. I've not been a good father. There are times when I failed. I'm standing here because of the grace of God. But I know there is not a single verse or a passage in the entire Bible which encourages me to remain in sin. If I sin, I need to run back to God. And He's a loving Father. He's a loving Father. And He'll forgive me. Will I confess? Have I confessed to God all the sins I've ever committed? Like worry? They make fun of us. Have you confessed the times you worried? No. The Bible, 1 John 1:9 says, when I confess, He removes all unrighteousness. So whenever I go back to God, if I failed Him, He removes all unrighteousness. I'm made right with Him. He accepts me. I keep walking with Jesus. I keep walking with Jesus. I keep walking with Jesus. But there's not a single passage in the whole Bible which encourages me to linger in sin, flirt with sin, dance around with sin. But all the passages of the Bible encourages us to repent from sin, take a U-turn, and run to my waiting, loving Father.
Can we appreciate the zeal with which our brother just presents things? Come on, give him a big hand, please.